Hello and welcome. My name's Gary and today we're going to move into quite a short yoga practice focusing on the breath and focusing on a pranayama practice, which is a yoga breathing practice called Viloma. Now I quite often get asked by people, can we incorporate a lot more breathing practices into your classes? And I tend to do a lot of them anyway, but today we're going to practice with Viloma, which is staircase breath, right the way through the practice. Now, if this doesn't resonate with you, obviously you can just let it go and connect deeply with your breath. As that said, making your way into a comfortable seated position. You can have your hands rest on your lap, on your knees. It's always good to sit on something just to get that pelvis off the floor, and it allows the blood and the air to circulate, lifting and lengthening into the spine, but it also helps with prana, which is energy, life force, circulate as well. Once you find your spot, give yourself a little bit of a wiggle, gently close your eyes and just connect to where you are right now. Notice the breath moving in and out of your body. And then inhaling in through the nose, open mouth sigh, allowing the shoulders to roll away from the ears, allowing you to ground a little bit more. And inhaling in through the nose, open mouth sigh. And again. Coming back to your natural breath. And we'll move into this practice called Viloma now. So it's little, short, sharp breaths with pauses in between on the inhalation, and then it's one long exhalation out through the nose to complete the round. So exhaling out and then inhaling a little bit in through the nose and pause. A little bit more, pause. A little bit more, pause. And then once more till you reach the top of your inhalation, and then exhaling out through the nose in one long exhalation. And then we go again. Inhale a little bit, pause. A little bit more, pause. A little bit more, pause. And once more till you reach the top of your inhalation, exhaling out through the nose in one long exhalation. One more round in your time, and then when you're finished, come back to your natural breath. Inhaling in through the nose, open mouth sigh, and then very gently open your eyes. All right. So we're going to move into some posture movements now. So raising the arms up in cactus arms or strongman arms, and we're just going to float to the side and do that practice. So it's right arm down, left arm up and over, and you're going. So it's 3 sips in through the nose. Back to strongman arms. Then over to the other side. Inhaling to come up, exhaling to come down, and the practice again. Strongman arms, little pulse, onto the other side. Back to center, breathing in and out here. Now we're moving into a twist. So left hand on right knee, right hand behind you, looking over the right shoulder, and we'll do that practice again, that Viloma. Back to center, onto the other side. Right hand on left knee, left hand beside you, breathing in and out with that practice. Back to center, 2 more rounds. Little pulse. center, pulse. Back to center, one more round. Back to center, little pulse. Removing the prop. And we're just going to come into some very easy postures. Now this is like a cat-cow, if you've ever done that before. So we're moving, articulating the spine, we're coming down and just trying to work in to loosen up all those muscles and the connective tissues. So I'm in a pose called hero at the moment, which is quite translated into, actually hero pose, but it's many different names. It can be called thunderbolt, it can be called Caesar. Most of you be aware of it. If you can't sit in this, to stay up, this is a second pose anyway. So inhaling in and out and doing that practice all the way through. And then coming up, raising the arms up. So this is camel. Floating the arms down, and now we're in cat-cow. So coming up, rounding out to the back. One more round. And then coming back into that kneeling position once again. So let's do another round. So starting with the breath practice. Coming up, raising the arms up. Floating the arms down, back into that tabletop. And we're going to move through some cat-cows. So tailbone up, belly towards the floor, chin and forehead forward. Rounding out the back, chin and forehead towards the floor, and the breathing practice. Coming back into Caesar, or thunderbolt pose again. All right, so coming back onto all fours, or 4-point. Now we're just going to place one palm in front of the other. And what this helps is, will also help us with the down dog that we're just about to come into. So tucking the toes under, hips to heels, just breathing in and out here. And then lifting up into downward facing dog. Now we're going to walk out the dog here. Just using long, deep inhales and exhales, then coming to a still place and coming into that breathing practice again. Exhaling out, right leg comes up, and just normal breaths here. And then we're going to bend the knee, knee to nose. Doing this 3 times. Inhaling to come up, exhaling to round out. Last round. Right leg comes back up and down. Left leg extends now. Now of course you can always come onto your hands and knees if this is really quite too strong for you. Bending the left knee, knee to nose. 2 more rounds. Using that breath, breathing in and out. Placing the leg down. Just coming onto all fours again. Now if you have any issues with your hands, you can always just roll up the mat, place your hands under it, you can put towels underneath your hands. Same with the knees too, there's always options. Yoga always meets you in a good place. So just give yourself a little bit of a wiggle. Then right leg extends, and a little bit of pulse, so pulsing back and forth with that right leg. Then the right leg comes up and the left leg comes up as well. And we'll do that practice again. One more. comes down, left leg extends, pulsing back and forth using the breath. Left leg comes up, right arm extends, fingers are pointing forward, thumb towards the ceiling, and that practice again. Coming back onto all fours again, little bit of a wiggle. Tucking the toes under, and just very gently walking to the top of the mat. So we're in a half or tabletop, standing tabletop here. Just breathing in and out with that practice again. And we'll fold down, right down. So you'll notice I've got a big bend in the knees, heads towards the floor, rolling the hands down behind the shins, or the calves I should say, and that little practice again. Bending right into those knees, sweeping the arms up to the side, big long inhale, hands are in prayer, hands float past the heart space, and then standing into Tadasana. Now Tadasana is actually mountain pose. Feet are about hip distance apart, which is about 2 fists. Palms are facing forward, and just 2 rounds of that breathing practice. Eyes are lightly closed. Opening the eyes up. Left leg back. So coming into a posture called Warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2. Now, the back heel and the front heel are roughly 2 fists apart, which is roughly hip distance. Now you can actually make them wider. I wouldn't recommend making them any closer. So you're kind of looking like what a train track would be. If you're looking, train tracks are always wide apart. And the reason for this is it helps with stability. You float the arms up, looking towards those middle 2 fingers, 45 degree on the back foot, knees bent. I can see my front 2 big toes. And then we're reversing the warrior, flipping the palm up and over, looking towards the armpit or down towards the floor. Back to center. So Warrior 2, side angle. So now I've got the right forearm on the right thigh, left arm comes up and over, looking towards the left armpit, looking for alignment here, using this practice again. Back to center. Carry on with the practice. Straightening the front leg, coming forward, coming into triangle pose. Coming back to that pranayama practice. Back to center. So I'm back into Virabhadrasana 2. Breathing in, breathing out. Hands in Hakini. This is the balancing mudra. Springing to the front of the mat. Now we're on to the other side. Right leg back. Arms float up. Warrior 2. Hip distance apart. Using the practice here. Flipping the palm up. Right arm, hand on the back leg. Looking over the shoulder or whatever works for you in this position. There's many different options here. Coming back to that breathing practice. Warrior 2. Side angle. Left arm on the left thigh. Right arm up and over. Breathing practice. Warrior 2. Straightening the front leg, coming forward, and this is called triangle pose. So left arm is floating down, right arm is up. And you can see the alignment here. Really looking for alignment. If you're really bent down too far, just try and lift yourself up a little bit. It's not about getting that hand on the floor. Breathing practice here. Then coming back to center, Warrior 2. Hands in Hakini, which is a balancing mudra. Bending that back knee, springing to the top of the mat and down. Gently folding forward. Once again, hands are on the floor, palms down, just lowering down onto your belly, and we're coming into a really nice Sphinx pose. So Sphinx pose, traditionally the elbows are underneath the shoulders, and you'll have your feet just floating out to the side, lifting and lengthening into the spine and looking forward, and we'll come into that breathing practice. Hands are underneath the shoulders, pushing up and coming into a wide leg child's pose. Breathing practice again. So wide leg child's pose, the knees are out to mat, toes are touching, big toes are touching, and I'm just lifting myself off the floor because just so you can hear me without me muffling the microphone. Breathing practice again. Coming back to center, swinging the legs forward, and we're going to come into a posture called Dandasana. So this is a straight leg. Legs are straight. I'm actually sitting on something, as you can see, getting that pelvis off the floor and just hanging out here. Fingertips are towards the side and just lifting and lengthening into the spine. So a couple of breaths here with our practice. Bending the knees, and I'm just going to shift that cushion off to the side. Just dropping the knees down. This is called windscreen wipers or windshield wipers, depending on what part of the hemisphere you're in. And you can see that's really articulating the body here, which I really like. This is one of my favorite go-to practices here. And you can drop your knees down on one side and just leave them. Looking over the shoulder, just really feeling into that spine, the upper and lower thoracic. You can focus on that breathing practice again once you pause, like I am. Then onto the other side. Lowering down, then back to the breathing practice. Back to center. Grabbing the cushion again. Hands come into prayer. This is Anjali Mudra. It's actually an offering mudra. It's not an asking for. Just gently closing your eyes. If the mudra doesn't work, you can just place your hands on your lap. Now to finish, we'll finish off with stage 3 of this practice. So placing your hands back on your knees again. And it's called stage 3, you're stepping up and stepping down. So we'll do a couple of rounds of that. So little sips of the air into your lungs with the pauses, and on the exhalation you do the same thing. So together. So we're going up and then going down. One more round, and you can actually extend this round if you want for a few extra counts. And pausing a bit longer at the top of the breath. And then stepping down. Back to the natural breath. Having the eyes closed. Just checking in with how you feel. And bringing the hands back into prayer. Bowing forward as we say Namaste. Well, thanks everyone. Hopefully you enjoyed that. These practices are really ancient. And it's just having a mind. You don't have to do them with every posture clearly. I mean, it's just about, okay, this is a good place to use it. You can see that some postures don't work so well with some of the breathing practices, but then you just come back to really deep belly breaths. So with that said, I will let you get on to the rest of your day, and I will be back with some more content soon. Until then, bye for now.